My name is Kyra Gemberling, and the title of my research was Feminine Agendas, the Historical Evolution of Feminism as Reflected in the Content of Women's Magazines. I mainly used secondary sources, so a lot of books and scholarly journal articles. This paper definitely had a lot of different components to it, because not only was I looking at the history of feminism, but I was also looking at the history of women's magazines in the US. So what I did was I kind of traced different patterns for both of these topics and tried to kind of combine them together as much as possible. And luckily for me, there are a lot of prominent scholars who have done a lot of research on feminism, but typically they only do it for one particular period, such as women's magazines during the Civil War or women's magazines during Prohibition. So what I did during my research is I traced these different periods and what scholarship was out there about them, and I was able to identify 3 key time periods as well as prominent themes within each that I could apply to my paper. Well, I'm a print journalism major, and it's my goal one day to be a magazine editor, so obviously I had that interest in the back of my mind. But in addition to that, I find that a question I've always had for myself during my time in journalism is whether the media set the agenda for society by deciding what content to publish, or whether it's actually the interests of society dictating what magazines should publish. And so keeping this question in mind, I know when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I would read magazines like 17 Magazine and Cosmo Girl, and they would tell you everything from what to wear to what to eat and how you should act. And I would always think to myself, are they telling me this, or am I making my own decisions? So that's something that I kind of delve into with this paper, and that's a topic that I've really kind of had some thoughts about over the years. My name is Kyra Gemberling, and the title of my research is Feminine Agendas, the Historical Evolution of Feminism as Represented in the Content of American Women's Magazines.